Hey everyone, welcome back to my house. Today I will be reviewing Daredevil Born Again Season 2. I know Maul came out first technically, but I think Daredevil's the bigger show, so I'm just gonna upload this video first. So I hope you guys are all having a great day, and let's get started with this video. First, let's do our video quote. Today's video quote is, "Our actions define our legacy." Alright, so as always with these newer shows and stuff, I'm gonna do a spoiler-free section. Yeah, here's some of my recommendations for the show if you guys should watch it. And I think this is mainly gonna be for the Born Again Season 1 haters, because I know there's a lot or at least a good amount of people that hate this show from season one. And I know even I wasn't personally the biggest fan of it, but I still thought it was pretty good. But yeah, the different writers switching around and stuff like that definitely really harmed the season and definitely didn't let it shine to its full potential. And now we get to see this full potential in season two. And I think it's amazing. I wouldn't say on the same quality as any of the Netflix seasons, maybe on the same level as two, like the worst one, but still not getting there to one and three. But I definitely think it has the potential as it grows to be on the same level as a Netflix show, if not better. If you're a Daredevil fan, why not? Just watch it. It's a great show. I think you would definitely enjoy it. I think season two does a great job, especially with these newer characters that most people don't really know about and aren't too big fans of them. I feel like they really handled all of these characters fantastically. So if you really did like Daredevil, the original show, I think you definitely like this one more because it feels more like that original Daredevil show with a mix of something new too, and a good new. That good new part is probably the parts of season one that people enjoyed, because I'm sure there's definitely people that enjoyed season one and at least enjoyed some parts of it. So I would highly recommend it. Don't be a hater. This show's amazing. Just give it a try. It's Daredevil. And honestly, if you don't like season two, then I would just say the show's not for you. I think season two is truly the real season one of this show because of all the writer stuff. So if you don't like season two, the show just might not be for you then. Alright, so going into my spoiler section, I'm just gonna go over some thoughts, positives and negatives, as I went throughout the season because I kind of just wrote stuff down as the episodes are dropping. So not necessarily positive or negative. So spoiler warning for the entire season of Daredevil Born Again season two. Alright, so the first thing I really noticed from the very start was that there was a lot of character plot lines. I was like, wow, like they dropped the first two episodes, I think, at the start or something like that, or two and three, whatever it is. There was a lot of different characters and they all had like a big amount of screen time. Like we had Matt, we had Karen, we had BB, we had Daniel, we had the therapist, like we had all these different characters and they were really just taking up a bunch of screen time. So I will admit I was very worried at the beginning with this. But I think it really did pay off because it made us actually care about these characters. Because starting with season one, we don't really know these characters and we don't really care about them necessarily. Like, I wasn't too big of a fan of any of the characters, especially the therapist. I think her name was Heather. I didn't really like her at all. But this season definitely did a great job making us care about these characters, and their plot lines are all super interesting. I guess, like, Heather, it might have been the weakest one, but even that one was still pretty interesting. Of her, like, becoming the new muse and stuff like that. I feel like it's a really interesting turn of events for her character. And I loved BB's and Daniel's plot lines, stuff like that. More on that later. But yeah, all these plot lines, it definitely paid off by the end. Next thing I noticed was that it still has like that Daredevil nature from the original show, with like the corrupt cops and like Lee just getting his own men killed, like, and not even caring. Because I did watch a couple of episodes of the Netflix show again, and that's like the really darker and grittier vibes. I feel like they did a great job with that this season. Still not on the same level as the Netflix show, sadly, but I still think it's in that step towards the right direction. And going back to the character stuff, I think it was really cool to see some lawyer stuff in the beginning, earlier episodes with Kirsten defending the clients and stuff like that, kind of like taking over Matt's stuff, which obviously we do get some lawyer stuff towards the end with Matt, which is incredible. I'll have to get to that later. But even just seeing some lawyer stuff, just to show how important that still is to Daredevil, I think that was really cool, even if it wasn't Matt doing it. And still sticking with all these characters, I think it was a good thing that they built up these characters because there wasn't too much action in the beginning. I know you had like the whole boat episode and stuff like that, but most of the beginning episodes were really just building up all these characters to make the audience like them more, which definitely worked for me. I don't know if it might have worked for you guys, but I definitely like these characters more. Like, I was really liking Buck, and I think I really like Buck more than Wesley, but some stuff at the end might have changed my mind on that. But yeah, at the time, this is what I wrote. They did such a great job building up all these storylines and plots. Like, it was just so good with all these characters. Now I'm just so invested in these characters. It feels like this, like I said, this is really like the true season one of the show. Another cool thing I noticed was just how good the fights are. Like, the fights throughout the entire season are just so good. And I love the small details. Like we could just really just see how violent Matt is fighting. Like we could just see how angry he is fighting because he's just so pissed off at Fisk, which I feel like we didn't really get to see in season one. And I guess I've been in Netflix shows too, but not as much. But now we can really see like he's really at his breaking point, and he's just so pissed off at the world, which I love to see in his fights how brutal he's becoming. But then still not going into that wrong direction of becoming like Frank and stuff like that. He still has his moral compass and stuff like that. Yeah, I guess that's a good segue for the next part, talking about the moral compass, which takes us to the Foggy episode, which episode 205 might generally be the best episode. Well, definitely the best episode of Born Again, in my opinion. Maybe the finale might be a little bit better, but I really did like this episode too. I could probably go either or, but that might just be the best episode of Daredevil overall that I've watched. Like, it's been a while since I watched the Netflix show, but I definitely think this episode was just so good. Learning Mercy and how Foggy is basically Matt's moral compass, which is just so great to see. Like, him saving Bullseye at the end, it's just so good. And just seeing Foggy again really showed how much Foggy meant to Matt and what the show is kind of missing without him, like how great of a character he is and how much he influences Matt. It was just so great to see. Like, I know some people are arguing like the episode was filler, but like, sure, it was mainly flashbacks, but it was just so peak. I generally don't know how you can hate that episode. It's definitely one of the best ones. And I love it when they switch to the Netflix style for some of the episodes. It was just so good. And of course, we get like Vanessa's death and Fisk reaction and stuff to that. So it's just so peak in general. It's such a great episode. Definitely the highlight of this season for me. Another segue for this is with the moral compass for Karen, though. We see like Karen in the next episode is willing to kill Bullseye because of Foggy, while Matt is trying to save Bullseye because of Foggy. So it really just shows the differences between these characters. And I do love the argument Matt and Karen had on whether Fisk should die and how like Karen is seeing things in Frank's way. So I think that's going to be really important for future seasons. I think she did kill someone or a couple people this season, so we can definitely see her changing. I mean, she killed Wesley in the original show, but we could definitely see her become more violent and her thought process changing. So I really want to see how that affects her dynamic in season 2, especially with Matt not being there for her. All right, next, going back to Buck and Daniel. Their dynamic was great, but I'm so glad Daniel left BB off the hook and basically sacrificed himself for her. Like, that was just amazing. Daniel, I'm really just gonna miss Daniel's character. He is such a great character. I'm actually so sad they killed him off. I really did think Buck was going to, let him out the hook and like rebel against Fisk. But yeah, no, not everyone can have a happy ending. But I do like how he let BB off the hook and BB was able to, broadcast at the end and basically get her message across to the entire city, which was great. And I just love the BB and Daniel stuff. Like the entire scene, that was probably like one of my favorite like dynamics or plot lines throughout the entire thing. Like they just had such a great dynamic with each other, how they were both using each other, but still both cared for each other at the same time. It was just great to see. I really don't know how I'm gonna like the next season without Daniel, so I hope we still get to see some great stuff from BB's perspective. I don't know what she will be doing now that Fisk is kind of gone, but I hope they still have more plot lines with her going on. Now for the finale. I really did need them to stick this episode because the season overall was great, but it definitely had some slow moments with building up the characters and basically it being a season 1. And I was pretty disappointed that we haven't seen Fisk do anything crazy, especially after Vanessa died. I thought he was going to start crashing out and doing some insane stuff that would make the public hate him. And we definitely did get the payoff in this finale episode because it was just great. And I was genuinely surprised too, before I even get started with crazy stuff Fisk does, of the episode being in the courtroom. Like, I was genuinely kind of worried. I was like, how are we going to have a finale in the courtroom? Like, there's going to be no crazy fights or anything like big that happens. But I was wrong. I will admit that. So it was great to see the lawyer stuff, like I mentioned in the beginning, but Matt being the real lawyer this time and seeing Matt beat Fisk like in the courtroom and in battle, because the last episode was in the battle and now he's trying to beat him in the courtroom. It was just great to see, and I just think it makes so much sense for both of their characters. And then of course we had the I am Daredevil moment, which was just peak. Like, generally I don't know how people hate on this show. Like, it's just so good. Like, I generally think that moment is better than I am Iron Man, which I think was pretty much like the direct parallel between those two. But I think this one has so much more tension, stakes, build up, and everything. It's just so much better than the I am Iron Man. And I'm like one of the biggest Iron Man glazers when it comes to the MCU Iron Man, but I gotta admit, this moment is definitely better for me. Then, we got to see Fisk go crazy, which is what I wanted. Like, him killing all these protesters in broad daylight, like, inside the courtroom was just crazy. I would have never thought that would have happened, and there was the action I was hoping for. So they managed to do both of those. So they really did stick the ending with this. It's just really surprising. Like in a courtroom, I would have never thought this would have happened. It became like one of my favorite, if not the best, Daredevil episodes out of Born Again and the original Netflix show. And I guess some small stuff to go over. I didn't really care for Jessica Jones or Luke Cage at the end. I thought it was just like cool, you know. I'm not as invested in those characters because I haven't watched their shows. I mainly only watch like Defenders and stuff. But yeah, if I get more invested in those characters, I might watch their shows. But even though I heard they were pretty mid. And I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below if you want a review video of, you know, all the Defender shows and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that hits all the major points I wanted to talk about. I'm sure there's something that I forgot because I had a lot of notes. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below if I forgot any important things and I'll just comment my thoughts. But yeah, time for my overall rating of this show. And this is the entire show, season 1 and season 2. I would give this entire show 8.5 out of 10, which is actually a really good rating. And if they see my predicted rating going in, I might have thought of an 8. I didn't have too high hopes in the writer after season 1. But yeah, season 1 was like around 7.5 or 8 for me. It definitely is better than season 1, and they definitely improved on that. So I'm glad they did that, and I think it definitely deserves an 8.5. I can't really see it being any higher. So this is me being really nice about this, because like I said, this really is really a season 1 of the show, and it was lots of build up. I know like Fist lost at the end and stuff like that, so some important stuff did happen. I wouldn't even call it a transitional season. It is just like a season 1 of a show, even though it's called season 2. So I think that would throw a lot of people off. But I think this is really like the real season 1 or season 1.5 of the show, if that makes sense. But overall, such a great show. And yeah, it's sad to see another one of these great shows coming to an end. But next week, I will have my Maul video, and I think the week after that, I'll have the boys, and then we're all done with this peak week of shows these last, month and a half we had. It was great while it lasted. But I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys on the next one.